Hi guys, welcome to Fitzapp plank tutorial. We all plank, we've all planked, whether we've been doing it in an exercise class or whatever. It's how we get up off the ground a lot of the time, but it's really important that we have a good strong plank, because that's going to develop into our subsequent exercises. Being the most obvious, of course, I guess, would be a push-up, which we'll show you in the next tutorial. A plank's really important that we get the breathing right. So again, I could run an hour workshop, 10-hour workshop on good breathing practices, but for now let's just say that we want the breathing to come through the ribs whenever we're doing this, as much as we can with all exercise. As soon as it comes through the chest, it's changing a lot of our hormones and basically how our body operates on many different levels. So when we're practicing these base movements where there's not a lot of extra movement going on, we can practice things like breathing, and it's really important. So I want to breathe through the rib cage all the way through here. I'm drawing my belly button in towards my spine at the same time, which seems a little bit counterintuitive. You find a lot of people through Pilates and yoga will spend a lot of time teaching people how to breathe properly. It's worth the time to learn. Once I'm in position, the first time we start with a plank is we often do it with elbows down, just a little bit easier. But we want to acquire a straight body all the way through. And by straight body, I'm talking we want to open up through the backs of the knees. We want to make sure the pelvis is in appropriate position. And we want to make sure that I'm not collapsed through the shoulder blades. So very, very quickly, this is what it looks like. It's going to be hands down. Whether you put your hands together or not, it's really up to you. I kind of like the hands being apart a little bit. I'm going to start with my knees on the ground, and the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull my shoulders down my back. Now, by pulling down, this is what we call scapular depression. What we'll often find with a lot of people, especially if you spend a lot of time in a chair, you have a sit-down job, you're sitting for 8, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, you're going to find that your back wants to adopt the same position it does when it's in a chair. Watch what happens when I depress my scapula at my low back. Ready? 1, 2, 3. This is what we see quite a lot. So what we've got to do is we've got to teach my shoulder blades and my low back to work together, and that my low back is just not going to fall into a comfortable, usual position, which is going to be detrimental to my performance. So I want to find that neutral position. So I might pull my shoulder blades down, end up in an awkward position there. While keeping my shoulder blades down, I'm just going to adjust. It's not all the way under, it's not all the way back. It's about halfway in between, tummy squeezed on tight. Once I've got that position, what I want to do is I want to extend through my knees. So I'm going to tuck those toes under just like they are now, and I'm going to open up through the knees, nice and tight, quads on tight. My glutes are going to start working now, squeezing that bum in. I'm pulling myself forward with my arms, eyes looking forward, and I'm desperately trying to touch my belly button to my spine while breathing. And that's the challenge. Sometimes it can be hard to do all these things at once. Once I've got that position, of course, we can start playing around with different positions that are similar. You can start on the knees here, just for a balance point. Drawing the shoulders down, correcting through my lumbar spine, extending, and we see this as a familiar position, eyes looking forward, then we can start executing our push-ups and all that sort of thing, which I'll show you in the next video. So find that plank position. Really what we're looking at is spending a lot of time there. You should be able to hold it for a minute. Guaranteed, if you cannot hold that position for a minute, rest for a minute, do it for another minute, and do that a few times in a session. Your push-ups are going to decline rapidly through any sort of program you're doing, and you'll start with decent push-ups and you'll end up with quite dodgy push-ups by the end of your training session. And unfortunately, your body will probably map the dodgy ones, the last ones, more than the good ones you did earlier. So spend a lot of time under tension, get strong through that plank position, whether it's elbows down, on the hands, and then progress into a good solid push-up later on. And then your push-up becomes your plank. Work it all together. Thanks guys. We'll see you for the next tutorial. Keep Fitz-happening. Talk to you soon.